What your kids don't want you to know. This morning, the problem that so many families are facing, kids getting too attached to their phones. One doctor even warning could cross the line into addiction. TJ Holmes here with more on what to look for and what to do about it. Hey, TJ.
Oh, some of you guys fighting these battles yet?
Oh, yes, every day.
With these cell phones, yes. Some parents just throw their hands up. Some shake their heads, and some think, it's just normal. Well, let me tell you this. How much is too much is the question you have, but doctors will actually tell you. There gets a point that it goes beyond normal teenage behavior with these cell phones, and your child actually starts displaying characteristics of a drug addict.
Now, this interview here is going to take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Are you going to be able to make it 30 minutes without looking at your phone?
I'm going to try it, yes.
You sure you all right?
I can do it.
Jason Clark loves his smartphone. No surprise there, he's a 15-year-old. But he's so attached to it, his family worries he might actually one day need therapy to get his phone habit under control.
You've been on the phone how much time?
4
today?
hours. 4 hours.
4 hours. And it's just 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We asked Jason to put an app on his phone to track his phone use.
So what was yesterday?
Yesterday, 6 hours.
6 hours.
His mom, Tamika, says there are days it's been 8, even 12 hours. At home, at school, the library.
A library with books. Right?
That made me feel bad.
Between social media, music, texting, and gaming, the hours add up. And Mom says she thinks his phone use has crossed the line.
When you're talking about addiction, you're talking about I can't live without it.
You think he's dependent on that phone?
Oh, I know he is.
Cell phone addiction isn't officially designated as a clinical disorder like drug or alcohol addiction, but Dr. Edward Spector thinks it should be. He treats exclusively people for what he calls compulsive use of technology.
Their brains change in similar ways to real chemical addicts.
That sounds nuts.
Well, if you talk to the parents of my clients, they come in and they say, my kid's like a junkie. They feel like it's an addiction.
But when does it go from being normal, acceptable teenage behavior to a problem that needs to be addressed? Spector says, don't just focus on the hours.
When we talk about compulsion, it's not the behavior, it's whether you have control over it.
Clark says she worries her son fits the definition, and his compulsion is affecting other parts of his life. She says as his smartphone use has gone up, his grades have gone down, and she's noticed changes in his behavior.
Do you think he could be on the path that at some point it's not enough to just take the phone from him, that you might have to get him some help?
When somebody freaks out because you're taking something that they have an emotional attachment to, it is an addiction.
Jason says there's nothing abnormal about his phone use and doesn't believe it has a major impact on other parts of his life, though he does admit he could probably stand to cut back later.
Now, I'm about to end this interview. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Check my phone.
All right, let's talk about this more with TJ and Carolyn Knorr, parenting editor at Common Sense Media. Welcome. Carolyn, we can't pretend the kids are the only ones addicted. Right here. But Carolyn, let's talk about the kind of signs you should be looking for to figure out if your child is too dependent.
Right. You know, at Common Sense Media, we always say, you know your kid best. But, you know, there are some typical signs of, a bigger problem, depression, slipping grades, hostility, kids who are highly sensitive, a strong preoccupation with their phone, and not interested in the activities that they used to love.
Nothing else. They only care about the phone. Meantime, TJ, so many of these apps that the kids get into, especially the gaming apps, are designed to hook them.
They suck them in, and you feel like you have this obligation. Like were you joking around with him there? He couldn't stand to be in that interview almost for 30 minutes without like something. I'm missing something in life over here. And again, you talk about your child. It's not just the hours. Some kid can do it with 3, some kid with 8. But still, if a kid is normal, is putting in 8 hours on the phone, what else are they missing in life? How many opportunities that are walking right by them to just have normal, everyday interaction? So still, it's not just the hours, but think how much they are missing by looking down at that phone.
You know, TJ, you bring up a great point because these apps are designed to add a gaming element to texting and being social with your friends.
And they do. You talk about these vamping selfies.
Kids.
These are kids who are staying up late at night, taking a picture of their, sleep-deprived faces and posting it for their friends to see. I mean, that may not be true addiction, but it is very problematic behavior.
But I would say the minute a parent sees that, time to put the phone in another room late at night, right?
I absolutely suggest that parents have their kids charge the phone in the parents' bedroom at night.
What else should parents do?
It's really important for parents to set up screen-free times and screen-free zones, and that needs to apply to parents as well as kids. Really limit multitasking, because we think we're good at multitasking, but kids really, it takes a moment to refocus. So try and get them to focus on one task at a time. No phones in the bedroom at night, no texting and driving for parents. And we always say, you are your kid's digital role model. You really have to show your kids how to have healthy digital habits now that we're all on our phones.
The doctor was big on that point. We said, how many times do you say to your child, just give me 1 second here. You're setting that example very early on.
Okay. Parents know best. Parents have to show the way. Thank you, guys.